Everybody ready? Yeah! All right, now here we go. A one, a two, a one,
Let's get it on, everybody. It's the Get Sunday Covered podcast, and you guys are going to have to forgive me, but my fantasy team legitimately made me sick this week. So I'm going to get right to it and welcome in Brandon and Jordan. Guys, how we feeling?
Rough week. Jordan got me.
Smack that ass.
Yeah.
Feeling pretty good. It definitely wasn't like the highest scoring matchup, but it was decent. I don't know. Brandon was calling it. I think he texted me. It might have been like halftime of like the afternoon games on Sunday. He's like, "Good game. This is over." And I was like, "No, man. There's still plenty of time. Stuff could happen." Drake London ended up having like a big game. But yeah, it was fun. It was good to get the win on Brandon. It just feels good to get a win. I don't know if I have a rival. I just want to beat everybody. So no hard feelings. Just get the hell out of my way.
Just get the hell out of my way.
It was a championship rematch, and Jordan got me again.
Yeah.
Damn. You gonna get your redemption at some point?
I'll get it later in the season, and hopefully then that'll be when. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I'll get him when hopefully it counts this season. Biggest thing that we were talking about. I texted Jordan and we were texting back and forth, and I was like, dude, it's impossible to. I didn't have anyone score a touchdown until what? Monday night? Sunday night.
No, Sunday night because I texted you.
Are
I
you
said, "There
serious?
go."
Is that a fact?
Yeah, Drake London. Yeah, he kept
Drake
texting me
London
about
was the only
touchdowns.
person until Kincaid scored a touchdown. I had the touchdown differential between Jordan and I was 6-2. That right there was the biggest difference for the week. That was the 20-point difference. It was a 22-point spread. That would have made our game a little bit more interesting. But when you don't get touchdowns, it doesn't work.
Yeah, you got to score touchdowns, man. You got to score good. I have a confession. I have to talk about my matchup a little bit. I played Steven this week, and I was talking a lot of crap beforehand. Yeah. I definitely thought this was going to be a good matchup this week because I came into it hot, man. Check it out. Like I think I did pretty good on the waiver last week. I picked up some good people. I got Roma Dunze off the waiver wire, which was pretty sick. Loved that.
Where was he?
I also picked
lineup?
up Juwan Jennings. Yeah. So Juwan Jennings too. Didn't start him either. And then I also have Brock Bowers on my lineup, and he's been killing it. So I figured this would be a good week for me to play him, right? Because he's been going off. I've been playing Dallas Goedert above him. Yeah. So that's how my week went, fellas.
Goddard on the bench with 27. Juwan Jennings on the bench with 46.5. Roma Dunze on the bench with 23.4. I mean,
you know how much I lost by?
I'm looking at it
18.
right now. Yeah.
I lost by 18.
And
if I would have played any of those over somebody in my lineup, I would have won.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, DeMarcus Robinson was your biggest letdown. I don't blame you one bit for putting Bowers in over Goddard. It just me and Cody were talking about this before the podcast started about obviously with AJ Brown being down and then Devontae Smith getting knocked out of the game with a concussion. Like I told Cody before that, he was getting targeted some, but as soon as he went down, that's when Goddard got his big catches, big receptions, big yards. Like dude didn't have a touchdown, and like so that kind of, you know, good for him. Like, you know, obviously Saquon's going to get the majority of the targets there in the red zone now, and keep Hurts healthy and stuff like that. But yeah, big week for Goddard. I don't blame you one bit for playing Bowers. It was just kind of a fluke week with
Well, with the
Carolina.
matchup he had too, I mean,
Yeah, Carolina. I mean,
makes total
red,
sense.
red rifle coming in there.
I'm serious, guys. I'm pretty sure it was my fantasy matchup this week that made me sick. Like
Your body,
I
you know.
almost threw up, like honestly. But Jordan, you were talking about some of this though, and you mentioned this to me like in a private chat about how you might be making a change to your league for situations kind of like this. Do you want to elaborate on that at all? I'm curious to hear what our audience thinks about this idea.
Yeah, I've kind of talked with a couple people in my league personally, that I work with, and people that I'm friends with in my league that I've kind of chatted with about it. I'd say it's maybe 50-50, which I was kind of shocked because I feel like everyone would be on board. But basically, I don't know if Sleeper has a way to do it, but I would just text every person individually Monday night after the games are over and say, all right, you get to swap out one player that you started for someone on your bench. Obviously, it's got to be same position or flex, whatever it is. But everyone in the league gets to swap out one player that was on their bench for their starting. So yeah, just because you might be getting a guy that getting you 20 more points, there could be someone like Cody that's got someone with 46 on their bench. So who
Yeah,
knows? You could be winning and then you get screwed over Monday night when you think you've won. Like it's a lot more math to be added in. That's why you just have to go in obviously manually and swap them out. But I think that'd be cool if like sleeper did have some sort of um way to do it, you know, like not even a half best ball league, like a one player best ball, like whatever position scored higher points that someone gets swapped, that's going to give you the highest points. So I don't know. I
what's your
think it'd be
take on that,
cool.
Brandon?
Say what?
What's your take on that?
I think I think that's a pretty actually neat concept. Be interesting. Like obviously you play someone like Cody this week where he has Jennings on the bench, you're losing. But you never know. I mean,
And
it's
Steve,
that
but Steven gets to
Cody, what
swap
was your
out.
start sit accuracy this week?
Oh, dude, it was like 65%.
Jesus.
All right, so get this.
But
You would
but
you,
I was
you
still
would,
the third highest scoring team in the league. You know what I mean?
That's insane. That's
yeah.
that's insane.
So you would have been like if that was the concept, you're able to swap out Jawan Jennings, so you'd have got 42 more points. Steven could have swapped out Jaden Daniels for CJ Stroud and got 17 more points. The Stroud only scored 11, Daniels had 28. So
Yeah.
it'd just be crazy. Obviously, like if you didn't have the big game from Jennings, I don't think you would have won with Goddard or Adunze swapping them out. I think he
That's
still would have
interesting.
won. Yeah, swapping out Jaden Daniels. I just think it'd be cool, even if we did it like, you know, maybe in like a little 6-man league or something like that, just to test it out, see how everyone feels or something. Just like, I don't know. We'll have to look
It's
into
like
it
kind of
more.
like it's like kind of the same concept as like the league median game, right?
Yeah.
Like essentially, like obviously it's not the same, but this kind of eliminates the fuck, I didn't start the right people
Yeah, like a
situation.
situation for you, like 3 guys on your bench like that, I'd say is pretty rare, scoring over 20. Um, but yeah, I feel
Yeah,
like
it's
just
definitely
having that
rare.
opportunity to swap one person would like, yeah, would change it. It's almost like bumping you up to, you know, hopefully higher unless your bench is that bad. I don't
Yeah.
know. Just a concept, different idea, something to throw in the mix maybe sometime next year.
Yeah, I definitely think it's interesting for sure.
Well,
I'm open to try it all, man. Like honestly, I sent Brandon an Instagram reel earlier today, and it was a dude talking about just how half PPR and PPR was just like total trash. Like, why not just stick with standard scoring? It works. It's like it's a flawless system. Like quarterbacks don't get a point for throwing the ball, so why do you get a point for catching it? And just like in depth, maybe we'll share that on our socials at some point. But I don't know. There's so many different ways you can do it, and I think that's part of what makes every league setting like super fun.
yeah. all different, kind of however you want to do it and do your custom stuff.
And at the end of the day, I still would get my ass kicked because I'm terrible at fantasy.
Good win, Stephen.
Yeah, good win, Jordan. Brandon, you and I got to step it up, man. Maybe you and I got to concoct a trade here pretty soon.
Collusion.
He dumped his entire team onto the trade block today.
Yeah, I
I
know.
did. I did. I did do that today. I gotta do
like-
something.
I was
So
like, man, hopefully
I'm
I didn't
open to
make
trade offers.
Brandon rage quit, kind of
Mm.
like I was about to last year.
Yeah. No, we'll get somebody, man. It's coming. I can feel it. This year's fucking weird.
So I don't know if you saw the standings. We have two of us at 3-0. I'm at 2-1, the only person 2-1, and everyone else is 1-2.
Damn, really?
Yeah, like it's
So 7 of us are 1 and 2.
Yeah, is that correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I'm the only person 2-1. Steven is 3-0. Joe is 3-0, and everyone else is 1-2. Pretty crazy. I thought when I was
You are
looking
not
at it.
wrong.
I was like,
7 people in the league are 1 and 2. That's insane.
yeah, I was like, there's only 3 of us that are above 500.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. I mean, I don't know.
Wow.
Like I always say, dude, 90% luck, 10% skill. And with the injuries this year, I think these are the most like kind of injuries we've seen kind of plaguing people's teams and stuff like that, and not as many touchdowns. So I think it's just a combination of things happening at the beginning of the season here.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, dude, where do you find your luck at? Is that like an online thing, or do you go like thrift shopping for it, or
Some people are just born with it. I guess you were only born with like 30% luck.
yeah, apparently.
It's
Sheesh.
kind of like in a video game when you can put attributes on your character and you can put luck or charm or skill. Maybe you had a little bit more
Nerd.
higher in the charm side of things than the luck side.
Yeah, all right, baby. Yeah, next go around, I'm gonna couple clicks more on the luck part. Well, guys, I do have a quick question for you this week. Want to move it along real quick and get into our content. I'm just looking at some of these guys. I follow a lot of them on social media, and it's always been kind of interesting to me on how these guys spend their money. So I want to ask you, if you were a professional athlete, right? You just got drafted, you just scored your big check, right? You got the bag. What are you guys spending your first $1 million on? And I don't want to hear none of this. I'm gonna pay off my mom's house, or I'm gonna, something like that. No. What are you spending your first $1 million on? Let's hear it.
So like individually, like not
You're treating yourself. You're giving yourself $1 million present.
Hmm. Probably a car. Probably
Go
go
on.
Bugatti. Get that shit leased. Go
a
buy
lot
a
of money.
Devil 16.
Spent on a car there. I don't know if
True, but I don't know. Probably buy just like a G Wagon. Something like that.
Yeah, but that's a fraction of your $1 million.
Okay, so then Bugatti or a fuckload of shoes.
You're just gonna spoil yourself in $1 million worth of shoes.
so.
Buy a whole damn shoe store.
So while Brandon's buying all these shoes and all these cars, and we are
Watches.
rookies,
Ooh.
we're rookies together on the same team. I will buy a house, and I will let him rent out my garage and a room in my house to put all of his cars and all of his shoes.
Well, obviously, I said how. Obviously, the first choice is a house, but
You
Cody
said
said
a car.
Cody said outside of
Said for
that.
yourself.
So I'm thinking.
I'm saying you're giving yourself $1 million gift.
Yeah. Didn't say anything about not buying a house. I'd buy a house
Okay, well,
first.
that's
See, I'm
the
going-
first thing I'm buying, but
Yeah.
See,
So
I'm
yeah,
going
I'm
property,
saying,
and I'm letting Jordan spend his $1 million on the house, so we can have
a party house.
a big scape somewhere in the mountains. I'll rent out your room. I'm good with that. I think my wife would be fine with that. I'm good with that.
I'd be
make sure
cool
it has
with
a
that.
pond, freezes over in the winter, go play
Oh,
some
yeah,
pond
then-
hockey.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
and then in the summer have it a little pond everyone can fly fish and catch big trout
wakeboard
out
and
of.
fucking do whatever. Fuck yeah.
Be awesome. But that's not real
I don't
for
know
any
about
of
you
us.
guys, but it's like fathoming that kind of money is just kind of weird to me. Like
It's a
I
lot.
honestly like maybe the smart thing to do would be like hiring somebody to tell me what to do with it. You know what I mean?
A lot of
Because
people have,
realistically, I'd probably blow through $1 million so fast.
yeah, and that's why a lot of players end up bankrupt and stuff like that, dude, just because they're spending all these monies. And there's a show on it might be Netflix. I'm not sure. I think it's Netflix. Anyways, it's basically about that, about professional athletes going bankrupt and broke. And it basically the main thing they talk about, they buy all these houses and all these cars, they stop playing, and you still have mortgages on these houses and stuff, and ain't no one paying those anymore, So I don't know.
Yeah.
It is sad. So yeah. Also, the thing where you do have someone helping you with your money. You hear about all the one like players getting scammed. Their money managers are skipping money off the top or making them go bankrupt because they're having them sign papers that stuff over to them, and just sad stuff. So getting taken advantage of.
I imagine that happens more times than any of us are ever going to know about.
Yeah, agreed.
100%. Well, with that being said, I don't know how many of you follow us on social media, but if you don't, at Get Sunday Covered, but some massive news, boys. We're like on all platforms now. I mean, we're on Apple Podcast, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music, Podcast Index, and then obviously the video recordings. The video pods are always on YouTube, but we're out there. We out here now.
And
Brandon's
what's
been
good
putting in
about
work.
what's good about all those is that they're you don't have to see our faces. So it's one of those things where you have kind of those
Yes.
you got a radio face, so you don't even have to see us. You can just listen to us while you're working, driving in your car. I don't know. Just get engaged. If there's anything you want us to talk about, we're always looking for stuff to talk about. So drop something in the comments if you know, talking about your league, a specific question, um,
Definitely.
stuff that happened in the past. So we just wanted more engagement from viewers and more people listening. And I don't know, we're here for you guys. I mean, we're just, talking about our league and kind of sports in general. So the more we can branch out and help other people to talk about subjects and have opinions on, and we might probably won't agree on them, but so maybe it won't or will help your argument with your league or your question. But yeah, we're just looking for more engagement and some comments, questions.
Dude, I think about like the podcast world now, and it makes me like go back in time when I was hanging out with my uncle, and he would always listen to baseball games on the radio. And for the longest time, like that was one of my fondest memories. Like I loved listening to baseball on the radio, and then CC hockey, like what's up?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Ken
love
Landau.
listening to CC hockey on the radio. Yeah, shout out Ken Landau, the GOAT,
Yeah.
man. He's the best. But I feel like I went through that phase of like I loved, when Spotify and Apple and all that stuff came out, you had music at your fingertips. I loved having any music you wanted all the time. But the older I get, man, I've become such a podcast dude. Like that's basically all I listen to anymore. I get in the car to go to work in the morning, I put on a podcast, and then while I'm working, straight in my headphones, I'm going podcast. And I don't know, it's so weird how like it's infatuating to listen to other people talk about shit that you're interested in. So yeah, definitely, guys. If you're enjoying it, you want to hear something different, you want to hear something new, yeah, let us know, man, because we're doing this for fun and we're enjoying it. So I don't think we're gonna stop anytime soon.
Shout out to our international listeners, boys. We got listeners in not only the US, but we got listeners in Canada. And I checked today, somebody's listening in Germany. So shout out to our international listeners as well.
Love it.
Awesome. That's good. Yeah, the clubs, I think up to like 4 countries, 4 or 5 at this point. So
Yeah, clubs just
just
growing
a couple of
extensively.
guys up
And
here talking about sports, man.
mainly football.
How are
I
you
just-
guys? Yeah, well, until hockey comes
I was
around, we'll
gonna
definitely
say,
get some hockey
maybe
content
until
for
hockey
sure.
starts, but we'll see.
How are you guys for your personal leagues? Obviously, engagement in the podcast and the club and stuff like that is one thing, but I'm always curious to hear other commissioners like, what are you doing in your leagues that's like keeping the energy up and keeping the, the trades going and the waiver wire moves going? You know what I mean? How's that working out for you guys?
I mean, the waiver wire in the Mountain West is pretty active. Otherwise, I've kind of just tended to stay back so far within. Um I mean, it's pretty competitive right now. So it's not too bad. So I mean, everyone's in. People are saying things, and there's definitely responses back and forth, but yeah, not done crazy much in there. Probably should, but I
Probably should.
mean,
Yeah.
I'm in 7 leagues, and I do have a job, so I'm trying to
And you're a
jumble
full-time
between it.
dad.
And I have 2 kids, so and that one of them's 8 months old, so I got my hands full.
Just a little bit, I'd say.
Just a smidge.
Not to mention everything that you're doing for Get Sunday Covered. So we
Yeah.
appreciate you,
Yeah.
Brandon.
Good job, Brandon.
You're a godsend, my friend.
I do. Just so people are aware. Make sure you tune into next week because we got some special
Uh-oh.
things coming. Some
Yes, we
special
do.
things coming ahead. So you'll definitely want to make sure you tune into next week episode. We'll start it off with a banger, and just be ready, folks. Now, what about you, Jordan?
I'd say my league, I don't know. I'm the only one, I guess, that knows everyone like personally. It's kind of a combination of friends, coworkers, and family. Shout out to my brother. He's been in my league for 5 years now. He's like one of the oldest people that I've played fantasy sports with. So it's cool to have him back in, and he stays somewhat engaged. He's same with you. He's full time job, kids, wife. Um, just good to see him in there. So, so the only thing is, I see some of these people, obviously my coworkers, on a daily basis. So we talk about the league pretty frequently. Talking about matchups and guys we have in, who we started, who we sat. Um, Other than that, like I text my buddy, about some injuries and stuff like that, and people get upset because they're maybe not fully engaged or fully looking at fantasy or in a group like we are where people are sharing news pretty frequently or as it's coming up to date. But I try to keep people kind of up to date on stuff if they have a player or something to let them know what's going on. So say there's not much like super engagement. I'd say yeah, waivers are pretty good. Everyone's kind of on top of that, keeping their lineups filled. um but yeah, kind of a normal, just competitive league. Nothing too crazy. Not too much shit talking. I wish there was more. There's some bad names in my league. There has been some bad names for team names, but that makes it a
Yeah,
little
there
bit more
are.
fun with people. So um, maybe we'll have some more fun with names. I was already talking with someone in my league about if you lose, you have to change your name. Cody's daddy or something, along those lines for a week or something like that. So maybe to keep it more fun, if you lose, you just have to have a silly name for a week or something like that.
I think Cody and
Well,
I
didn't
did
we have
that one year.
yeah, we did that like last year or the year before. Yeah. When you lose the matchup, the next person gets to change the name of your team for a week
Name.
or so.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm pretty sure I called you Simp Biscuit for a week.
I don't remember exactly what it was. It was, yeah.
Yeah. That's cool, though, man. I am in Jordan's league and it is fun. But I get it. Like it's hard, you know what I mean? People got a lot of stuff going on. So my biggest thing that I try to, obviously you guys are in GSC, so but every week, whoever I'm playing, I will publicly just call them out and just just start talking crap. You know what I mean? I'm at the point now where it's like, even if I take the L, it's worth it to talk the crap in the chat just to get people chatting. You know what I mean? I like to rag on the specifically Pacific Northwest. I try to go after the previous champ. She's won it twice in a row. So I'm like, whatever you guys can do to beat this girl, like let's take her out. I don't care what it means. Like trade your whole team away, just beat her, don't let her win. You know what I mean? Just stuff like that. But yeah, it's cool. I just love the group chats in the leagues. You know what I mean? People upset because they benched Juwan Jennings, or people upset because they lost by 0.4. I love it, man. And we were talking before we started recording today, like we're about that time in our year where we're gonna get somebody that's gonna threaten to rage quit. So yeah, let's hear about those rage quit stories, man.
Be interesting to see how the week progresses. I know this week you got 7. I got Wit. Jordan, you got Joseph.
Mm,
So
Joe,
Yeah.
Rama 3.0.
Hey man, he's been jumping on all of our
Hey,
watch parties
he
that we
has.
have.
he has. He has.
Hey, I know. I'm happy. I'm glad we actually get to see his face sometimes.
And if you're in the fantasy club, you're more than welcome to jump on these watch parties. We typically post Thursday, and just all you got to do is comment GSC, and we'll send you the link. And we want to meet some of you guys, so definitely be sure to pay attention, stay engaged within the chat, the group, and come sit with us, come watch a game with us.
Yep, absolutely. We've gone 0 for 2 so far trying to do that. So I'm feeling a little neglected and disliked. I don't like that, guys. My ego is pretty sensitive, so I'm gonna need some of y'all to jump in.
All right. Well, what's going on with CMC? Is he done for the year? Schefter reported that he's needing surgery, eh?
It's still everything I still see. I mean, it was a day ago, him getting to Germany, seeing a specialist, but that was a day ago. And so I mean, I don't know. Latest was that he was going to have surgery. The Achilles was worse than they thought. Um, I don't know. I hope
It's
he
not
comes
good. It's not
back.
good.
No, it's either way. If you have him on your team, yeah, if you got room on your IR, maybe stash him there for another week for sure till some more news comes out, maybe officially from the 49ers that are declaring him out for the season. I don't know. Yeah, either way is don't be looking at starting him maybe at all this season. You might not have him at all, is what it's looking like.
That's
Especially with
awful, dude.
Achilles.
That sucks.
And I
So
was
bad.
I was telling, I don't know if we were talking about this before, we hopped on the podcast about the last time that CMC was like the number 1 overall. I think it was the first year in your league. I had the first overall pick. I'm excited to get
Yeah.
CMC. Here we go. I think he played maybe 2 or 3 games that year before he was pretty
Yeah.
much done for the year. I didn't want to jinx it for Hans this year, but I told him when I was like the last time that CMC was like the consensus number 1, he didn't complete the season. I'm not saying that's why, because he's going number 1 overall in fantasy. These guys could care less about their fantasy points, what they're doing for us. But yeah, you just hate to see it for a player of his talent for that team. So hope he gets healthy. And if we don't see him this year, I'm sure he'll be back to 100% next year.
Man, I hope so, dude. It sucks for everybody that drafted him in the first couple of picks, but it's sucks even worse for him, dude, coming off of MVP caliber season, and now like you don't even get to play a down this year. Like I hope that's not the case, but
Man, it's rough.
man,
It is rough.
dude, how much longer does CMC have left, honestly?
3 years max.
You
I
think
was-
3? I think less, honestly.
We'll see.
Maybe he's got a lot of mileage on his body and some injuries now. So
Yeah.
we'll see. Especially Achilles injury is never good.
I mean, he's 28, same age as me. So, yeah, I
Ain't
mean,
too many that hit 30 and keep playing good.
yeah,
Yeah.
not too many running backs, especially.
I know that because I play hockey with you, Jordan. You haven't been good for 7 years.
Still walk around you any Friday night.
Yeah, you do not. You absolutely do not.
You guys can
Yeah, it
come out
sucks,
and watch.
dude.
Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Little watch party for some Friday night hockey. All right.
Get that going.
We'll find
There you go.
a
There's an idea
we'll
for a
put
live stream.
Theo on videography, okay?
Yeah, we'll upload
Yeah,
that
definitely.
video.
I don't know, dude. I don't have any shares of CMC this year. Honestly don't know if I ever have, which kind of sucks, honestly, but I wouldn't count on him playing. And if he does, it's gonna be not much.
Playoffs only.
Yeah.
When you really need them, or the last couple games
Maybe.
if you're in playoff contention. I mean, otherwise, I wouldn't even risk it.
Yeah, I shot my shot at the beginning of the year. So Niners are getting locked in the wild card this year anyway, so I don't know. Sucks, but I was really hoping he would get a ring last year. I'm not even a Niners fan, but I'm definitely not a Chiefs fan. So I was a little heartbroken that the Niners and CMC didn't get one.
It's kind of like that 09 season with Randy Moss with the Patriots. Is that 09?
07?
07, yeah, 07. I wanted Moss to get it. It was 09, wasn't it? 'Cause they won in
07.
07. Giant.
18 and 0.
All right. Well, yeah, I just wanted Moss to get a ring so bad that year. Like, I don't care for the Patriots. Like, I don't care for Tom Brady. You got to respect him. But I just really wanted Moss to win one. So yeah, I could feel that. Like, same way for McCaffrey. Like a great player. You just want him to get one.
Yeah, for sure. What about what's your guys' thoughts on Miami? There you are. Skylar Thompson's got chest injury now. Tyler Huntley up next, or what?
I mean, that
They gonna go pick up someone?
Tim Boyle came in on that like 2 drives and he had more yards than Skylar Thompson did like the entire game. So maybe that was the best thing is Skylar Thompson getting injured. Um, the Dolphins used to have Mike White. They cut him. I know when they did the 53-man cuts, which I was surprised. So Skylar Thompson beat him out. I think we joked about this last time. I was talking about Joe Flacco. I'm like, get that dude to come in and tell him to throw the ball as far as you can to Tyreek Hill. And you have Jalen Waddle underneath, like I mean, I feel like just look what he did with Cleveland. I'm not saying Joe Flacco's the savior, but I don't
He
know
can still ball.
the way
That's what
that
he proved.
Skylar Thompson looked. I don't believe that Tyler Huntley. I think if anything, he's going to hurt that throwing game, the passing game more than anything, because he's going to run more. I don't know. There's other options. I feel like they could trade for, but are they going to? Do they want to bring in someone new? I don't know. So we also got, I don't know, Russell Wilson with the Steelers. I mean, the way Fields is playing out, even if Russ comes back healthy at this point, why do you replace Fields? He's only getting better. He's only getting better week to week. Maybe they could trade for Russ. Broncos also have Zach Wilson, Jared Stidham as backups. Make a trade, 3rd, 4th round pick for one of these guys. Like, bring someone in that's played some games and is a veteran and gives your team a chance to win. And I mean, they still have playmakers all over that team. Like, they could still win games. Like, I feel like that's why, like, you look at Cleveland, they lost their quarterback. They put in a veteran. They had a bunch of playmakers around them. He got the ball to those guys and they just made plays. Like, same thing in Miami. Like, just get someone that's going to get the ball out quick to these guys.
100%. Yeah, I mean, someone has to come in and sling it for him. I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised if Miami was a team that reached out to Carolina for Bryce Young, but who knows exactly who exactly was there. So be interesting to
One of the things that stood out. Sorry, Brandon.
No, you're good.
I was say one of the things that stood out to me for Miami is it seemed like, maybe, Tua really was the leader that we all thought he was, because with him gone, the team just like literally didn't look the same. Like they didn't
No.
have the same
Yeah.
click, they didn't have the same pace, they didn't have the same energy. So I honestly, I don't know how much of a difference any of these guys they bring in is really going to make, especially if you bring in Russ Wilson, who is notorious for being a locker room poison. Like they looked like they lost their leader. They looked like they lost their cornerstone of their offense. And to be honest with you, I'm a little afraid that they're not going to get it back.
Yeah, it'll be rough to see what goes on with Miami for sure proceeding forward.
Yeah.
How
All right.
many? So what are they now? They're 1-2.
Yes.
How
And
many
that
games do you think they win this year? 7.
I was gonna say 6 or 7,
yeah.
That
and that might
sucks.
be a stretch.
They'll get 2 against New England.
That sucks.
I don't think New England will beat Miami.
I don't know. Those might be some low scoring games.
Yeah, those will be rough.
That's not going to be another repeat of no punts, no turnovers.
No, I don't think so. I do not think so.
Be interesting.
Yeah.
What's your guys' biggest takeaway from the season so far?
Oh man.
I think the Saints are real, even though they lost this weekend. They're real.
I disagree.
I think Minnesota, dude. I think Minnesota's better than New Orleans. I think Minnesota's better than a lot of teams. My foreman at work is a big Minnesota Vikings fan. Dude's got a tattoo of the Viking logo right on his bicep. Like loves the Vikings, always has. And he told me before the season, he's like, look out for the defense this year. Second year under what do they call him? B Flow, Brian Flores.
Brian Flores, yeah.
Yeah, second year under him. That defense is balling out, man. So, and Sam
Nasty.
Darnold's doing good, getting the ball to Jefferson like he needs to. Aaron Jones is running all over. Look for Aaron Jones to come out with like a 200-yard game this week against Green Bay. So I think Minnesota's the team that might surprise some people in the NFC this year.
I agree, man. Minnesota's looked good. Little
Like
resurrection tour for
Sam
Darnold.
Darnold, you ain't seeing ghosts anymore up there. I don't know. I don't know. They're scary, man. That, like I said, that offense is good too. There's a lot of weapons on that offense. As long as Darnold, which he's been playing great, not turning the ball over. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, everybody that was panicked about Justin Jefferson, I think you can relax for a little bit.
Yeah. Sad thing is he's like putting up 20 points in the first half, and that's about it. Like, which I'll take that every game, obviously, but put up like 30. Like, but I'll take it.
I saw a post earlier. I'm pretty sure Darnold is leading in touchdown passes. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's who'd have thought, huh?
Yeah. Him, like, even after last week, it was like him and Baker. All these guys doing crazy things. I don't know. Just like
Andy
I said,
Dalton,
yeah, and yeah,
the
the red
Red
rifle
Rocket.
coming out, red rifle. I don't know. I don't know. Good for these guys that are getting second chances and coming out and balling, man. Surprising some people, losing people a lot of money, probably in some of these games.
Facts.
So, so me and Brandon were kind of talking about this about the touchdown thing. So, like, quick question, Cody, would you rather have someone like Cooper Cup who gets 10 targets a game, might catch 9 of them for 80 yards, or someone like Jamison Williams who might only get targeted 4 times, gets 3 catches for 150 yards in a TD? PPR league.
Which one of those would I rather have?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I'll take the Jamison Williams stat line for sure. But if we're talking season long, man, let me get that volume. Like I feel like touchdowns are unpredictable. You got to figure in like what kind of defense you're facing in the red zone or the green zone or whatever. But if you're somebody that's dependable and you're getting the ball 10 times versus 3, yeah, I think I would take that because eventually they're going to catch a touchdown. But that's a good question, actually. Like, but that's when it comes down to the situation that I was in this week of like Romo Dunze going off, like Dallas Goedert going off. Like, how am I supposed to predict that?
Yep. You
Yeah.
don't.
It's like,
Consistency is nice, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I
Like,
don't think
if the stardom situm question wasn't in there, like if it's in a best ball league, shit, give me the 3 for 150 and 1
right.
every time.
Yeah.
Plus, I think you get a little bit of like trade capital out of a performance like that. You know what I mean? Like, you get a player that goes off and they look good. Somebody that's not,
flashy.
super educated about the stats, you should just be like, hey, this guy smashed it last week. This is going to help your team a lot. Let me get that guy that gets 10 catches a game. I don't
Yep.
know. That's interesting. What about you guys? What would you rather have?
I think I'm probably like same boat as you. I think someone who gets more targets is always going to be more valuable than someone who's a big play. Because I feel like maybe that's what Xavier Worthy is this year for Kansas City. Like he might only get the ball 4 times a game, but
It's a
at any
great
time he could
reference.
break 2 of those for 70 yards and a touchdown, and
That's a great
you're
reference.
getting 25 points with this dude getting the ball handed off once to him and catching the ball twice. So um I think it like kind of depends who it is, but I think for me, like I'm always going volume over the big play scenario and getting a touchdown because I think at least with that, like you know, Cooper Cup's going to get the ball thrown to him at least 10 times a game. Matthew Stafford's always going to look for him. So if you get someone who's volume and boom, they do get that chance to score a touchdown, that just adds on top to it. But at least someone like Cooper Cup, like you can almost put it down every week. He's going to get you between 15 and 20 points when healthy.
It's the consistency. I think for me it's the consistency. I would rather have someone that's at least getting me consistently, 15 to 20 points a week.
Then 33 times a year or something.
Yeah. I mean, it could make a difference those 3 times, but I feel volume wise throughout the season, the consistency is the key there.
Yep.
With maybe 1 or 2 outbreak games where they're getting, 25 or somewhere around there.
Yep. I agree.
Definitely.
All right, moving on. Jordan, what's your game of the week?
This week I'm gonna do I think there's a big one. I think it's the Bills at Ravens. I think the Bills go in there and put it to the Ravens. I think that's
Sunday
what's
night?
gonna happen. Yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen. But fantasy wise, I hope this game's like 55-54. I don't care who wins. And
Just
Lamar
a
Jackson
slugfest.
gets 45 points. But yeah, I don't expect it to be that crazy. I'm expecting maybe 35-30, something like that. Something
30,
crazy
That's
what
like
still
you
a pretty
got?
good game.
hmm
Dude, you don't feel like after their win in Dallas, the Ravens are going to be picking up steam. You're just all
No,
on Buffalo right now.
it's like I told Brandon because they were up big at Dallas and they almost lost to Dallas.
Yeah.
Same thing happened last week. They were up big at halftime. Let the Raiders come back and beat them at half. So I don't know what they're doing at halftime, you know, having some sort of party in the locker room. I don't know, but they come out the second half and it's just like, we already got the game won. We don't need to do anything. And they almost let Dallas come back and beat them. So, and shout out to Dallas. They recovered an onside kick in that game.
I know that was one of the few that we've seen over the
Yeah,
last few
maybe
years. I
the
mean,
first one for the new rules.
yeah, it was
So
Who would have
Brandon
thought the
Aubrey's
Bills would be 3-0 right now?
they look good, man. And like they
they
pretty
look
much said
good.
is because Josh Allen doesn't have to force the ball to Stephon Diggs. He's got so many
Yep.
guys that whoever's open's getting the ball.
Yeah.
James
Did
Cook's
you
coming out, so
Did you see his quote? He was like, "Yeah, it's nice to have a locker room full of guys that don't care about the stats and they don't care about the touchdowns. They just want to move the ball." I'm like, a little subtle.
Stephon Diggs. Yep.
Yeah.
I think Josh Allen's playing better without him, honestly.
I think so too. Yeah.
He seems to be. Yeah, he doesn't seem so focused on like trying to force the ball into places that he shouldn't. Yeah,
Cody, what's your game of the
I
week?
agree. Man, I'm liking Minnesota versus Green Bay this week. I'm really I picked this one because I'm really hanging on the fact that I think that Jordan Love might come back. I think that Green Bay offense with Jordan Love is going to be something scary. I don't know for sure that that's going to be this week, but I'm on the Minnesota train right now, man. They look good. That was one of our game of the weeks last week. We just talked about it. Their defense is, one of the best in the league right now for sure, and I think they're on a roll. So I'm really looking forward to looking at this divisional matchup, and I think I've got Minnesota in this one, man. I think they're going to keep it going, and I think people are really going to start turning their heads at Minnesota and figuring out how to beat them moving forward. But I think they take it to Green Bay.
I agree.
Nice. I'm going with the Saints at the Falcons. Division rivalry, just like Minnesota Green Bay. I think it'll be, a nice little slugfest between Kirk and Derek Carr. So it'll be interesting to see.
Bounce back game for the Rams for the Saints after last week.
Yeah, after last week
I don't know,
against the
man.
Eagles, they both just played the Eagles the last 2 weeks. So it'll be interesting to see.
I think Atlanta comes out on fire, to be honest with you. Like I feel like same way everybody else feels like against that game against the Chiefs. I think Atlanta's probably got something to prove after taking that L, and I look for them to. I think they pull it up. I'll take the Falcons in this one.
Yeah, so it's kind of a coin flip. I think
Yeah, I think
Saints
I
will win
think
that one.
I think I'm going with the Saints. I think Kamara has a good bounce back week here. He's going to run the ball pretty heavy against the Falcons. But I do want to give an honorable mention
Wishful
game
thinking.
out this. Yeah. Please, Kamara, maybe you'll save my fantasy season. Be back to 500. I do want to throw out an honorable mention though this week. Bengals and Panthers. Andy Dalton, Red Rifle, playing his old team.
Yep. Put the Bengals down 0-4.
Dude, I don't know if I can imagine what that will be like for that team if they go down 0-4. Like they're basically already out as it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be
I don't
Steelers and
know,
Ravens
man.
in that division, I feel.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll
I
see.
like this take, Brandon. It's like,
It is in Carolina. It would be much more interesting if it was
if they're
in
going back to
Cincinnati,
Cincinnati. Yeah.
I still want to throw it out there as, an honorable mention on my radar this week.
I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but this may be a weather game, depending on how fast
that
this
hurricane
storm moves
tropical
through.
storm.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. Like this is like waiting until the bleachers clear out and the concession stands close so you can watch the JV team play. In my opinion, like this is for me, I think ice cold Joe Burrow finally gets one done here. He's got to, right? Like there's no way they're going 0-4.
Yeah, I think I'm with you there.
I'm going Carolina.
Yeah, you're riding it?
Dude, the way Carolina looked last week there's some, I don't want to say talented players on Carolina, but they got some good, decent receivers to go to.
Well, what happened if Thielen got hurt, didn't he?
He did, and they have that Xavier Leggett kid. He's a rookie, so hopefully you guys don't steal him, but I'm putting in a waiver claim for him this week. I doubt any of you were going after him because he's on Carolina and no one's going after anyone from Carolina. Unless you had Deontay Johnson, which I had him in my other league, and I told myself, I'm going to give it one more week with Red Rifle here, see how he does. He sat on my bench with 27 points. There's no way I'm starting him. Like with the start he's had this year, I'm not putting him into my lineup. So maybe
Yeah.
this week I think I'm going to throw him in there because why not, man? Let's see what happens. So
I
go
love it, dude.
Carolina.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. Fair
I'll
enough.
take things I've never said for 600, Alex.
Well, with that being said, I think that's another wrap up on another episode of the Get Sunday Covered podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow if you haven't already. Be sure to hit us up to always get you guys' Sundays covered. Till next week, peace.
Later.
Peace.
Ooh.